What is going on, everybody? Red Velvet's here. I'm in a different location. I'm down south. I'm in Gulf Shores, enjoying some rest and relaxation, even though we're not really. When you got kids, do your parents really rest on vacation? That is the real question. As you see here, as you saw in the preview picture, I got a sweet fanny pack now, and it holds my snacks, holds my phone. So I'm going to be rocking a fanny pack probably for the rest of my life now. Coach Pat Brown's right. Once you get a pack, you don't go back. So don't make fun of me. Make fun of me. I don't care. I'm rocking it. Right now it's across my chest. I'm going to put it across my waist too. But that's enough about me. So just know the pack is back, baby. We're bringing it back. All right. Real quick, I want to thank the people that make this possible. I clicked the button a little too early, but thank you to our sponsors for letting us do what we do, making this all possible. Thank you to our subscribers for liking us enough to pay us. So, once again, there's sponsorship opportunities available, and if you want to subscribe, please hit us up. We can teach you the ways of subscription. But now, that's enough about that. We're going to get down and dirty with the nitty-gritty of sports around the area. Starting off varsity softball. Clay City defeated Orleans, and they are the regional champs for the fifth time. The fifth time right there. Yeah. They won. Clay City defeated Orleans 1-0. Ellie Stolting, 2 hits, an RBI, and a triple. Lizzie Sanders had 2 hits and a double, and Faith Mitchell with 2 hits. Lizzie Sanders had 14 strikeouts on the mound. Big day. Then earlier this weekend, we'll call it that. Clay City took on West Washington in the semi-state game 1. There's a 2-game semi-state. I could gripe about there being a 1-game regional, 2-game semi-state, but that's another gripe I have later on in life. Clay City defeats West Washington 7-1. Lizzie Sanders led the way, 3 hits, a ribby, and a triple. Cameron Rhodes had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a home run. Faith Mitchell had 2 hits, an RBI, a double, and a home run. Ellie Stolting with 2 hits, a ribby, and a triple, and Abby Shear had a hit, an RBI, and a home run. Lizzie Sanders had 10 strikeouts. Tonight, I believe it right now, Clay City takes on Indianapolis Lutheran for the semi-state championship. Go Eels. Now we have some varsity baseball action. Clay City took on Shakamak. The Lakers are a tough team. Lakers win 8-3, and I believe this is like their 17th sectional or something, so they're pretty good. Or 30th, I don't know. I saw 30, I saw 17. I didn't review the notes close enough, but anyway, the Lakers won. Trey Dayhoff had 2 hits, an RBI, and a home run. Luke Laswell, 2 hits and a double. Mason Camp with 2 hits. Logan Stolting with a triple, and Caden Cooper with a double. On the mound, Logan Stolting had 4 strikeouts. Now we got a new one. Greencastle, they took on Park Heritage in the sectional championship. Sorry, I got something on my teeth. I ate right before I started. Probably not the best. I had shrimp. We had some boiled shrimp, and it was really good. I got some stuck in my teeth. The Tiger Cubs win 8-5. That is their back-to-back. Their second consecutive sectional championship. I would put the picture up, but I forgot about it. Sam Gooch, 3 hits, an RBI, and a double. Nathan Sutherland had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and 2 doubles. Ashton Dayhuff with 2 hits. Brighton Gray got a hit, 2 RBIs, and a home run. And then on the mound, Brighton Gray, 13 strikeouts. And then in the regional championship, Greencastle took on University. The Trailblazers win 10-5. Ashton Dayhuff had a hit, 2 RBIs, and a double. Connor Sullivan with a hit and a ribby, and Brighton Gregg with 6 strikeouts. And then last week, Linton took on Bar Reeve in their sectional semifinal, the second game. Yes. The Vikings win 9-2. Jackson Miller had 3 hits and a ribby. Jake Rose and Blake Husband each had a hit. and Russell Goodman had 4 strikeouts. Now we move to track and field, the state finals, boys and girls state finals. And right now, I'm throwing it. There it is. Carson Buck took second place in the high jump. State runner-up. Congratulations. The girl that beat her jumped over 6 foot. She jumped like she could high jump over me. I'm lucky to high jump an inch. I don't know what I can high jump. Probably 2 foot. But I think it was 5'8" was Carson's record. Congratulations. Keep pushing. I'm calling it now. You're winning state next year. Shot put, Ethan Edwards placed 25th. And in discus, Ethan Edwards placed 30th. Zane Scales he scratched, he fouled in the thing. But you know what? He made the state finals as a freshman. That's a pretty big accomplishment right there. So, and now we have varsity basketball nights, Northview basketball off-season stuff starting to take off now. The Knights played at Mackey Arena and U of Indy. They went 5-1 overall. They beat Kankakee. I don't know how to say that name. That's a hard one. 66-64. They beat Gibson Southern 48-37. Indianapolis Shortridge 66-42. Greenfield Central 51-35. And Benton Central 62-43. Fort Wayne Snyder beat them 56-48. Thank you, Coach Neville, for sending us that info. Now we move on to some Chaos baseball. Chaos and travel, 11U travel ball. I got to redo my tabs. Chaos was at the Indy Sports Park. The first game, they took on the NBC Aces. The Aces win 11-8. Gannon Sturley had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Cruz Shepard with a hit and a ribby. Elijah Farron, a hit and 2 RBIs. And Liam Fabre, 2 strikeouts on the mound. Then the Chaos took on the Primetime. Primetime wins 10-2. Elijah Farron had a hit and an RBI. And Gannon Sturley with a hit. Wyatt Tabler had 3 strikeouts. And then the Chaos took on the Indiana Bandits. The Bandits do edge out the Chaos 8-7. Reed Robinson had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Parker Hazlitt, Cruz Shepard, and Jack Dirth, 2 hits and a ribby. Elijah Farron with 2 hits. Liam Fabre had a hit and a ribby. And Parker Hazlitt, 2 strikeouts on the mound. Chaos went 0-3 this week. That happens. You're going to get better. You've moved out to AAA. That's a big adjustment. So you guys are good. Just keep pushing and you'll keep getting better, and big things are going to happen. Now we have the Strive 11U. Strive, they had a busy weekend. They started playing baseball Thursday. They took on the Hawks Gold. The Hawks edge out the Strive 4-3. Mac Miller, 2 hits and an RBI. Ethan Okovich, a hit and 2 RBIs. And Cole Dillard with a strikeout. Then the Strive took on the top tier Navy. Interesting name. Top tier does win 12-6. Ethan Okovich led the way, 3 hits and 3 RBIs. Mac Miller, 3 hits, a ribby, and 2 doubles. KJ Moore had 2 hits, and Cole Dillard had a hit and an RBI. Ethan Okovich had 3 strikeouts. Then Strive took on the Mid-Michigan Lumbermen. That's a lot to say. I wonder what their uniforms look like. It's probably all words, all across. The Lumbermen win 9-5. Ethan Okovich had 2 hits and a double. Mac Miller and Cole Dillard had a hit and an RBI. And Nolan Ritchie with 2 strikeouts. Then the Strive took on the Ohio Thunder. Thunder win 9-1. KJ Moore had the lone run of the game. Cole Shepard with 2 strikeouts. And then they took on the top tier Navy again. Top tier does edge them out one last time, 6-5. Cole Shepard had 2 hits, an RBI, and a double. And Cole Dillard with 4 strikeouts. Strive did go 0-5 on the week. Now we've got the 9U Knights. They were at Indy Sports Park. Knights take on Flash. The Flash. Props to the Knights. You beat a superhero. Knights win 9-1 to beat the Flash. Landon Pestoff led the way. 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. And Emerson Sinclair with a double. Rhett Blair and Emerson Sinclair had a strikeout apiece. And then the Knights take on the Mad Dogs. Mad Dogs. Mad Dogs do edge out the Knights 8-7. Lincoln Powell, 3 hits and an RBI. Rhett Blair, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Colin Hill with 2 hits and a ribby. And Emerson Sinclair with a hit and an RBI. Dawson Mason with 3 strikeouts on the mound. What just happened? We're good. I have one computer, one screen. It's a little bit bigger for me, but here we are. We have a new team here, the Outcast 11U. The Outcast took on Havoc, and the Havoc went 11-9. And then Outcast took on the Bambinos. They're coached by Babe Ruth. Dad joke. Outcast win 4-3. Taya Moreski, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Addison Austin, 2 hits, a ribby and a double. Lila Johnson had 2 hits and a double. And on the mound, Addison Austin had 2 strikeouts. And the Outcast went 1-1 on the week. Now, the Knights 8U. CYL 8U, baby. The Knights take on the Smithville Scrappers. The Knights win big time, 17-4. Then, let's see. Griffin Medeiros led the way. 3 hits, 5 RBIs, and 2 triples. Big game. Houston Dyer, 3 hits, 2 RBIs, and a triple. Hudson Walker had 3 hits, a ribby, and a double. Drew Shoemaker, 3 hits and a triple. And Claire Harrison with 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Maddox Abrams, Max Pierce, and River Compton, 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Then the Knights take on Center Grove. Anybody that's ever been around high school sports knows about Center Grove. This was a tough test for these Knights, but they held strong. The Trojans do escape. We're going to say they escaped with that victory, 9-8. Hudson Walker, 2 hits, 3 RBIs, and a home run. Drew Shoemaker, 2 hits, an RBI, a double, and a triple. Griffin Medeiros had 2 hits and a double. Max Pierce, Houston Dyer with 2 hits each. And then the Knights had to face Center Grove again. And yet again, Center Grove escaped 11-10. Had they played one more inning, the Knights are going to win. Put my money on it. Houston Dyer, 3 hits, 4 RBIs, a double, and a triple. River Compton had 3 hits, an RBI, and a triple. Caleb Gaines, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Drew Shoemaker had 2 hits and a ribby. Maddox Abrams and Claire Harrison with 2 hits each. The Knights went 1-2 on the week. Now we have some Warriors softball. The Warriors played at the summer kickoff tournament and got runner-up. There are the young ladies right there. Congratulations on getting runner-up. They started off the weekend. They played Clay County Youth League All-Stars, the 8U All-Stars team. The Warriors win 16-0. Delaney Wilson, 3 hits, 3 RBIs. Nora Thiemann had 3 hits and an RBI. Hadley Pearson, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Lily Lumpson and Emery Fields, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Olivia Goda had 2 hits and a ribby, and Luna Siddons and Alice Rusin with 2 hits each. For the All-Stars, Emmy Huffman, Lainey Reese, Bree Sorrell, and Lydia Mannion all had a hit. And then the Warriors take on the Tribe, the Indiana Tribe. The Warriors win 12-11. Delaney Wilson, 4 hits and 3 RBIs. Emery Fields had 3 hits and a ribby. Nora Thiemann, Hadley Pearson, and Alice Rusin had 3 hits. And Addison Peters with a double. Warriors take on the Shakamak All-Stars now. The Warriors win 15-5. Delaney Wilson, 4 hits and 2 RBIs. Lily Lumpson had 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Emery Fields had 3 hits and a ribby. Addison Peters with 2 hits and 4 RBIs. Hadley Pearson, 2 ribbies, 2 hits, and a double. And Braylon Barong, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Then the Warriors take on, they went 4-0, 3-0. They went undefeated on Saturday. I'm not good with numbers. We move to the playoff side, tournament bracket side. Warriors take on Shakamak. Warriors win 14-4. Delaney Wilson, 3 hits, 5 RBIs, and 2 doubles. Lily Lumpson had 3 hits and a ribby. Hadley Pearson, 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Braylon Barong, 2 hits, an RBI, and a double. Then in the championship, Warriors Tribe. Tribe win 13-1. Delaney Wilson with 2 hits and Hadley Pearson with a hit and a ribby, and Lily Lumpson with a double. The Warriors went 4-1 on the week. Congratulations. Moving along, we have the Lady Steelers. Lady Steelers took on the Indiana Longhorns. I don't know if that's what their thing is, but that's what I'm doing. Longhorns win 15-8. Willow Stranger, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Norley Williams had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Riley Britton, 2 hits and a ribby. Ellie Meisner and Ellie Tomwa, 2 hits. Maya Falk and Madeline Myers with a hit and a ribby apiece. Then the Steelers took on the Newburgh Nitros. That's a sweet name. Nitros win 15-0. Ellie Meisner, a hit and a double, and Riley Britton with a hit. And then the Steelers took on the Eagles Select. Eagles win 12-4. Ella Haltom led the way. 2 hits, a double, and a triple. Ellie Fielding, Ellie Meisner, and Sadie Rimp had a hit and a ribby. If I butchered your name, I do apologize. Steelers go 8-0-3 on the week. And now we move to CCSL 8U All-Stars. They played the Warriors game 1. That was their first game together as a team, a little nervous. Now they face the Shakamak All-Stars. And Clay County wins 23-13. Aubrey Ovsansky, if I butchered your name, I apologize, led the way, 4 hits and 3 RBIs. Elliot Forker, 4 hits and 2 RBIs and a double. Laney Reese, 4 hits and 2 RBIs. Emmy Huffman had 4 hits and a ribby. Reagan Emsweiler had 4 hits. Savannah Carpenter, Maddie Reese, and Izzy Holmes, 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Bree Sorrell with 3 hits and a ribby, and Lydia Mannion with 3 hits. That's a big turnaround. You got comfortable. Now you're together. Then they took on the Tribe. The Tribe do win 15-1. Emmy Huffman had a hit and a ribby. Noah Pettiford, Laney Reese, and Bree Sorrell with a hit. And then we move to the tournament. CCSL takes on the Tribe. The Tribe win 13-1. Laney Reese had 2 hits, an RBI, and a double. Emmy Huffman had 2 hits and a double. The All-Stars do go 1-3 on the week. We do have some coaches' notes. All the kids played great. Fielding-wise, Laney Reese made a double play, catching a pop fly and tagging her base, and made several catches. Emmy did great defensively, making several plays. Kylie Morris played great at third base. Then the coaches all had players of the game. Emmy Huffman was game 1. Game 2 was Laney Reese. Game 3 was Elliot Forker, Aubrey Ovsansky, Reagan Emsweiler. And game 4 was Noah Pettiford and Maddie Reese. Congratulations. Where's you? You're in Alabama. You didn't play in tournament, kid.
Yeah, I did.
Okay. You're there in spirit, rooting your team on. Now we move to Clay County, or I'm sorry, they are in Clay County, Clay City Youth League.
Did we win?
We start off with 8U softball. Here are your 8U softball champions. The Home Tech team won the championship. Larry Wynn Lawnmower Shop was the runner-up. And then in 12U softball, Brookside Medical won the 12U. And then the 8U baseball champions were Steiner's Styles. Now, congratulations, Clay City. I'm glad you're on the lineup with us now. I know All-Stars is coming up. Please send us your stuff, and we will be more than happy to cover it. So, moving along, the CCSL 10U All-Stars were at the Shakamak Summer Kickoff Tournament. CCSL took on the Tribe. The Tribe do win 11-1. Laney Garrison scored the lone run. Chloe Hoskins had 7 strikeouts. Then CCSL took on Bloomfield. CCSL wins, gets the first dub of the year, beat Bloomfield 13-12. Maisie Maurer had a hit and 2 RBIs. Mabry Haviland, Chloe Hoskins, Piper Davis, and Hallie Huffman had a hit and an RBI. Avery Weichel had a double. Maisie Maurer with 3 strikeouts. Then CCSL took on Linton. Linton wins 12-11. Avery Weichel had 3 hits, an RBI, and a double. Chloe Hoskins, 2 hits, a ribby, and a double. Ivy Dyer had a hit, 2 RBIs, and a double. And then Maisie Maurer had the 1 strikeout on the game. The All-Stars went 1-2 on the week. Now we've got the 12U All-Stars for CCSL. They were in Shakamak as well. They start off against Shakamak. The Lakers win 9-7. Leah Modest hit 3 hits and an RBI. Chloe Shinnerworth, 2 hits and an RBI and a double. Avery Hoskins had 2 hits and a ribby. Addie Bedwell had a hit and an RBI, and Avery Hoskins with 5 strikeouts. Then the CCSL took on the She-Cats. That's a sweet name. CCSL wins 13-3. Laney Hughes led the way, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Leah Modest and Chloe Shinnerworth had a hit and 2 RBIs. And Chloe Shinnerworth, 5 strikeouts on the mound. Then they take on the She-Cats again in tournament play. CCSL wins again, 9-8. Avery Hoskins, 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Leah Modisett, Chloe Shinnerworth, and Lindley Brashears, a hit and a ribby. And then Chloe Shinnerworth had 4 strikeouts again. And then we get to the championship. CCSL faces Shakamak. The Lakers win 9-8. It's a close one. Very close. Chloe Shinnerworth, 3 hits and a ribby. Sophia Beeler, 2 hits. Lindley Brashears, 2 hits and a double. Leah Modisett and Addie Bedwell, a hit and an RBI. And Avery Hoskins had 10 strikeouts. CCSL goes 2-2 on the week and are your runner-up in that tournament. Congratulations. Now we have the Knights 10U. CYL 10U. Got the weather kind of played a factor. They were down in Bloomington first at Winslow Park. Then they got shipped out to Saraland so that they played the BAM. They had to redo the tournament. They played 1 pool game and then straight to the tournament. So they played BAM. Yeah. Knights win big at 11-1. They took it to BAM. A.J. Johnson, 3 hits and 2 RBIs. Wyatt Hayes and Dalton DeWig had a hit and 2 ribbies. Easton Herbert had a hit, an RBI, and a triple. Lucas Harrison had a hit and a ribby. Lucas Harrison also had 2 strikeouts. Then we get to tournament play. Knights take on BAM again. And BAM wins 7-6. I got my wife laughing in the background at me. I'm going, BAM! Like, BAM! You ever seen Step Brothers, kids? You should not be watching Step Brothers, kids. Anyway. A.J. Johnson had 2 hits, 2 RBIs, and a double. Jackson Pestoff had 2 hits and a ribby. Wyatt Hayes with 2 hits. Garrett Tabler had 2 strikeouts on the mound. Now we get to the CYL Rec. We're moving along. We were in the playoffs. Team Keith took on Team Harrison. Harrison wins 9-5. Kyler Keith had 2 hits and a ribby. Rhett Blair had a hit and 2 RBIs. And then Wyatt had a hit and a ribby. Kyler Keith with 2 strikeouts. Then we have the Diamond Knights up in Rosedale. They start off taking on the Central Illinois Canes. The Canes win 9-3. Keith Landis had 2 hits and 2 RBIs. Kelby Shelsky with a triple. Spencer Stone had a strikeout. And then Diamond Knights take on Hagerstown. Hagerstown wins. Hang on. Now I'm all confused. Got people coming in and out. Diamond Knights beat Hagerstown 14-4. Excuse me. There's a lot of going on in here. Try to sit down when it's nice and quiet, and then that's when everybody comes in. When you're sitting here trying to work, trying to put on a live show, there's just people, traffic, and it's throwing me off. So Diamond Knights do get the win against Hagerstown, 14-4. My van purse is getting in the way, getting all flustered. Spencer Stone, 2 hits and 3 RBIs. Colton Moore and Blaine Jenkins with 2 hits. Landon Johnson had a hit and 2 RBIs. Keith Landis with a hit and a ribby. And Kelby Shelsky with a triple. Spencer Stone with 2 strikeouts. And then the Diamond Knights take on the Tomahawks. Tomahawks win 4-3. Kelby Shelsky had 2 hits and a ribby. Jackson Woods, 2 hits and a double. Colton Moore with 2 hits. And Kelby Shelsky with 6 strikeouts. So if my math is mathing, Diamond Knights went 1-2 on the weekend. Now we move to the college. NCAA baseball tournament. Murray State has former Northview player Dylan Zinko. There's also a kid from Riverton Park. I do not know his name. I do apologize. They played Murray State. They're on Murray State. Yeah. They played Ole Miss in Game 3. They defeat Ole Miss 19-8 to win the regional. Now they're facing Duke. They move to the Super Regional. Game 1, Duke defeats Murray State 7-4. Dylan Zinko did pitch that game. Last night, Murray State defeats Duke big time, 19-9. And now we have Game 3. And it's actually going on right now. I don't know what channel it's on. Just ESPN, one of them, one of the 12th. Murray State wins. They will be the Super Regional champion, and they will go to the World Series prelims. I don't know. They'll be going to Omaha. I don't know that. I'm not a baseball guy. So they're going to the show, baby. But now, it's my favorite part of the show. It is the Red Velvet Power Performers presented by Wabash Valley Plumbing. And this week's power performers are Lizzie Cinders of Clay City, Faith Mitchell of Clay City, Nathan Sutherland of Greencastle, Brighton Gregg of Greencastle, Carson Buck of Northview, Ethan Okovich of Strive, Landon Pestoff of the 9U Knights, Delaney Wilson of the Warriors, Houston Dyer of the 8U Knights, AJ Johnson of the 10U Knights, Kyler Keith for the CYL, Kelby Shelsky for the Diamond Knights, Laney Reese for CCSL All-Stars 8U, Chloe Hoskins for the 10U All-Stars, Chloe Shinnerworth of the 12U All-Stars, and Addison Austin of the Outcast. Everybody say hi to Kai as you walk through the camera. Hi, Kai. One more. This was sent in, and we have the Beast Award back. This young player hit 2 over-the-fence home runs. I believe he plays on the 9U. Yes, he's on the 9U Knights. Cranked 2. And about 1 went almost all the way through the scoreboard. Just boom, all the way through. So here is this week's Beast Award. There is Dalton DeWig. He is Babe Ruth reincarnated. You're 9 years old and you hit a home run over the fence. That's impressive. I'm 36 years old at 320 pounds. And I still can't hit a home run over the fence. You about went through the scoreboard. So congratulations. Now for more information on that Beast Award. Those are submissions only. You have to do something very impressive. The first one was Landon Pestoff. He took a line drive right to the face and lived to tell about it. He got up. He said, I'm good. Dalton DeWig almost, projectile ball through a scoreboard. Those cool moments like that you submit those and we will put them on the Beast Award. So that's how the Beast Award works. Congratulations to the power performers. Congratulations to Dalton DeWig on being the beast. We're out of here. Thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to our subscribers. Y'all have a great night. I'm going back to the beach. Y'all take care. We out.